Yeah. Oh, we live.
You live?
I'm live.
Okay, alright. So, you know you're supposed to be in this too, right?
I am in it.
Alright. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna go live.
Show me.
Right.
So what's going on, y'all? This Street Talk. We out here with Vop News. We on Natural Bridge and Kingshighway. So we live. We asking for all the community, all of the St. Louis residents that's watching this right now to come out, pull up. We right here in front of US Bank, but we at the southbound Kingshighway bus stop, right here at Kingshighway and Natural Bridge. So y'all pull up, come holler at us. We'll be out here for the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. We got Dr. Marty J Casey out here. We're gonna talk to her first. She was gracious enough to pull up on us. So we're gonna let Cam from Vop News go ahead and get it cracking for us.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in to Vop News. That's my man Street Talk right there. He is an activist in St. Louis. He actually has his own channel, The Show. He's been doing this type of work for a while now. So this is gonna be like a collaborative type of work deal right now. As y'all can see, we about to do this guerrilla style. When I say guerrilla style, a lot of people been hitting our inbox asking us, can we talk about this? Can we talk about that? And our question and our answer is yes, we can. So we probably gonna be doing this thing weekly. We're gonna be talking about some of the issues St. Louis have. Y'all can always tap in on us. Got going on. This is gonna be Dr. Marty Casey. How you doing today, Dr. Marty Casey?
I am doing well. I want to thank you for allowing me to pull up on you. And I have to just tell everybody, this is the neighborhood where I grew up in. I grew up right across the way here at Lee and Shreve. I went to Scullin School right down the street. My brother played ball at Matthews Dickey's. And so if you want to know where we located, we're right across the street from the White Castles. You know where that's at. You might not know US Bank, but you know where White Castles is. So come on and stop through and talk to the community.
All right, so look, Dr. Marty Casey, I know a lot of people in St. Louis have been touched by the bullying story that we put out about a week or so ago, and I know that you actually had a chance to like pull up on the mom a time or two and her difficult bullying schools. Can we start with that issue? A lot of it looks like the post we put up went viral. It has almost 500,000 views, if not more. And a lot of people are talking about bullying. A lot of people are afraid of their child going back to school. Let's just talk about bullying. Can we talk about first some of the signs that, you know, parents might have to start looking out for?
Absolutely. But you know, that's a very good question. One of the things that I shared with the parents today, I had a meeting with them because we are getting ready to partner together to start an anti-bullying campaign where my company, UnGun Institute, will basically be the platform that they will be on where we can go and talk about in real time what's happening with these babies. First of all, I want to say before I even get into anything more, I need everybody who's watching and listening and sharing this to take a moment of silence, just about 5 seconds, and let's just lift up Spirit Butler. Let's lift this baby up in prayer right now. Let's unite in doing that. If we can take five seconds here, just 5 seconds. 5 seconds to say her name, and if we can do that every day, take 5 seconds to lift that baby up. I'm telling you, it will make a difference. It the mother and the father right now, if you can imagine, are experiencing one of the most traumatic things that they probably will ever experience in their life. To see their baby on life support right now in the hospital, fighting for her life, where she opted to end her life, if you will, because of how others was treating her. I want you to think about what I just said right there. She opted to end her life, and she wasn't successful in doing so because of how others was treating her. So when you ask me what are some of the signs, it starts with how we see children interact with each other. You see cousins joining each other. You see how we horseplay around, how we will make a post about anything to one another. All of that, if you couple that to a child being teased by schoolmates every single day, somebody's teasing you. Every phone out in their hand trying to catch you doing something and make a mean post about you, and it's circulating on social media like where this video was circulating. It's good. They turn it into something bad and it circulates with millions of views. How do you think that's mentally landing on that baby? That is the reason that she did what she did. So if you want to start with what we need to do, we got to get these cell phones out of the hands of children when they at school. They're at school to be educated, not to be snapping videos and going to social media and going live with them and trying to create content that's negative so that they can be popular at the expense of someone else. So that's the first thing that we need to do. The second thing that we need to do is that when a child comes to an administrator, to a teacher, to the principal, to the social worker, and they tell you, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is how somebody's treating me, we need to take that seriously. Bullying needs to be just as serious as if someone was to say they were raped. Bullying, because she has been raped of her will to live. She's been raped of her joy. She's been raped of being protected in school and not getting her education. So the same seriousness that you would take it, administrators, and when someone come to you and tell you that just happened to them, we need to also seriously when a child says, feeling bullied, feeling like someone is bothering me and it's mentally making me feel bad about myself. That's important that we do that. The third thing that I want to say is that as a community, we have to stand up, because today is Spirit Butler is her name. Today is Spirit Butler, but tomorrow it could be one of your children. It could be your niece or your nephew or your cousin or your neighbor, and how would you feel? So don't wait until it's one of yours. Right now, let's stand up for Spirit, and with Spirit, in spirit of knowing that we can do the right thing if we come together as a community. When I was contacted by several people saying, Dr. Marty, do you know this is going on in the community? I instantly rushed to be at the hospital by that mother's side when she called me. I didn't ask no questions. I just showed up. And you know what's interesting is that that mother laid her head, we was sitting down on a bench similar to this, and she laid her head on my shoulder and she went to sleep because she hadn't been sleeping days. Sometimes all a person needs is for you to just show up. They don't need your opinion. They don't need you to say anything. They don't need your food. They may not even need your money, but what they need is your time for you to just say, I support you in what you're dealing with right now. And that's what this family needs. So I hope that you all, if you're listening and watching this feed, send the mother a positive message to tell her to hang on and that the community is with her. You'll be surprised that this type of feed will go a long way in somebody's healing. And that's what we do at UnGun Institute. We're all about disarming trauma. And this is a lot of trauma that people are experiencing. So before your kids go back to school, check with them. Check to see, one, if they're being bullied, because silence is a killer. It's a silent killer. Bullying is a silent killer. Check with them and say, hey, I just want to see how many friends you got, how you feel, who you eat lunch with, how you doing when you walking through the halls. Are you happy? Are you laughing? Are you having fun? If your children look down and they look like they can't hardly come up with the answers, it very well could be something going on. Check into that. Ask the right questions and show up and investigate. Let your children know, I care enough about you that I'm going to come to talk to somebody. Somebody need to show me some videos of what's going on in the halls, and I need to make sure my baby is all right. We can do that. And if you feel like you don't have enough support, contact UnGun Institute, where we disarm trauma. And we going to stand with you. We going to stand with you. We going to stand for you, and we'll definitely stand beside you. I told Cam I didn't even want to be on camera right now. My hair ain't even looking the best, but guess what? It's not about that. At UnGun Institute, we don't count deaths. We count lives. And I'm counting each of you all in. So if you need me, you call me. And if I can make it happen, I'm right there fighting with you and for you. I want to thank you for allowing us to share this message today, because it's important, y'all. Check with your kids, because if your kids, they may not be getting bullied, but what if your child is the bully? Huh? What are you planning on doing about that? I hope you show up, and I hope you parent in the right way and let them know that's not cool. We got a baby right here in the city of St. Louis fighting for her life because somebody's child and children decided to extra tease them. Everybody can't handle that mentally. So if your child happened to be one of those children, you need to check them. You need to check them, because I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure laws are strengthened to where if they get caught doing that type of thing at the risk of somebody else's life, I'm going to do something about it to where they're going to have to pay for that in a very strong way. So get them in check now. I told my grandson, you bet not go to school bullying nobody. And if you are being bullied, you come home and you let us know, and we'll stand with you. So I love you all. You know I love St. Louis with my whole heart. Now it's time for me to go get a White Castle. Y'all, I'm a little hungry, but I'm telling you, this is the real deal. I love when St. Louis show up like this. We are the village. We the village, right? We the village, y'all.
All right, we are, but we just can't let you leave just yet.
Oh my goodness. So what else we got?
Hey, so look, hey, we appreciate y'all tapping real quick. This is Vop News. We do have Dr. Marty Casey right here. I told her if she come here, I'd give her like 5 minutes, but we need to extend this because we have questions that must be answered. All right, so what type of advice or dialogue? You know what? Let's go with dialogue, because that's what this is about. These conversations, we're gonna start doing these weekly. Different people, different days. We still gonna be outside with it. What type of dialogue do you have for like the parents, or even not just parents, family members, when it comes to children? I know you said check the kids and all that good stuff, but do you have any telltale signs of when a kid might be getting bullied, or when they might have some type of trauma locked in them that they need to have assistance working through?
The first thing you're going to notice is that you're going to see a personality change. If your child plays really well, I'm using this as an example, your child plays really well with like their favorite cousin or their best friend all weekend long, and then when Sunday night rolls around and it's time for school to start, and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't feel good, and they're making up all these different reasons as to why they don't want to go to school. They may even give a small complaint about there's a particular class they don't like. You might think it's the teacher. Well, that's an opening for you to just start asking questions. Well, where do you sit in the classroom? And you know, are you sitting around people that you like? You all do group work in your classroom. Who's usually in your group? And how does that feel when you're in that doing that group work? If you start asking the right questions, you will eventually put the pieces together and realize that, wait a minute, something could be going on with my child. And you start monitoring. And I'm telling you, this may sound like this is a whole lot of work, but it is. And when you're talking about saving a life, keep a journal. Keep a journal every time your child is coming to you, and on what day your child is coming to you saying they don't feel well. It could be happening a certain time every week. And then you trauma trace that and you find out, wait a minute, this is during gym. Every day that you have gym that week, you always come to me saying you don't feel good and you don't want to go to school. So it could be something that's happening there. Are they body shaming the baby? Is it a lot of teasing that's happening? You can get to the bottom of it if you pay attention. I'm gonna share this one quick thing. My grandson is 9 years old, and I'm 51. And what I realize is that we don't communicate the same. Now, we talking about some of the same things because hurt and pain is still the same no matter where it lands and who it lands on. Hurt and pain still hurts anybody, no matter what age you are. But at 51 years old, I realized that I expect my grandson to come and tell me if somebody messing with him, because that's the way I grew up. Anybody mess with you, you better come and let me know. That's the way we was raised. My grandson expects me to see that something's going on with him. He asked me one day, he said, Grandma, you didn't notice? You didn't notice, Mama, that I like cheese on my tacos? I said, well, you didn't tell me. He said, well, you didn't notice I was putting cheese. See, I'm looking for him to tell me he likes cheese, and he looking for me to notice he's eating cheese on the taco. I know that's simple, but that right there is the difference of knowing if your child's gonna let you know and if your child's waiting on you to notice. Check them out when they come home. Are they late coming into the house? Are they running home? How they looking when they come home? Or do they look frazzled? Do they look like something just happened to them? Stop and put your phone down and greet your baby at the door and say, how's your day? Look them up, scan them up and down, and make sure that everything is okay. I noticed my grandson, his shoes was always untied. I'm like, why are you coming in the house with your shoes untied every day? Is somebody making you untie your shoes? What's going on? So just watching and seeing those simple things will help you to determine if something possibly is happening with your baby. And when they come and tell you, if they do, believe them. Believe them. Don't push them into saying, oh, look, when I was growing up and somebody was bullying me, this is what we did. That's not working today. This is a whole totally different generation, and the way that they interact with each other is totally different. And the one thing that they have that we did not have is social media. If somebody made a video of your worst thing that ever happened to you, it's gonna take some of y'all a little longer to remember what that is, right? You've been out of school a while, but think about in high school, the very worst thing that ever happened to you. You still remember that? Now imagine that being caught on video and somebody uploaded and the whole world is watching it.
That would be traumatizing.
That's trauma. That's trauma, right? That experience right there would be so traumatizing to you still to this day. You would be triggered by it, and that could have happened 30 years ago. If you know there's a video of your worst thing being circulated. I remember the rumor that was what was said about me, and man, if that was on video, I can only imagine how I would feel today. It probably would be difficult for me to sit here and even talk about it. So that's what these babies are dealing with. This social media and everything, there's some good things to it, but there's also some bad things, and we have to protect our babies. And it starts with the school administrator. Every school should be banning phones in school. They should have a place where the phones can be locked up, and when school is out, the bell ring, you go and get your phone back, and so you can walk home and be safe. I get that. They got to have a phone to be safe if something happens. But in the classroom, they don't need that type of device because they're creating content to kick off some mess so they can become popular. That's the new way of being big man on campus today, kicking off mess. And so in order to protect our babies, that's the first thing we need to do, demand these schools to not allow these babies to have phones during the classroom hours.
Okay, I see an interesting comment, right? Let's see the biggest bullies from whom children often are mimicking.
I agree with that. Let me tell you how it showed up with me, Elaine. That's a very good comment and question. I grew up in a household where my father was abusive to my mother. That's all I saw was fighting in my household. So that's how I handled everything. Anytime somebody said something to me in school, I did what I saw happening in my household. You couldn't just step to me any kind of way and say anything. I was going to physically deal with it. And in that same district that this has happened to this young lady, I was disrespected in my mind by a teacher who had stepped on my hand and didn't apologize. I hit that teacher. They gave me 90 days. They expelled me 90 days off the flip, just like that. And then I moved across town and I went to another district. Within 30 days, somebody called me fat and I had another fight and I got suspended 10 days. And I realized, you know what, Marty? Everywhere you go, there's going to be somebody that's going to do or say something to you. But you're the one, and how you handling it, that's losing. I wouldn't be who I am today and be sitting here today if I resulted in handling everything with a physical fight. I had to do something different, but it was all that I knew because that's all that I had seen in my household. And that's how I created UnGun Institute, helping individuals disarm trauma in another way other than always feeling like you have to physically show up and fight. But you're right. It usually starts with what we see. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. The biggest bullies are the ones that's hurt the most.
Okay, I got another interesting comment. I see you. I'm gonna try to get as many, as quick, in a quick amount of time, so she can go get that double cheese bottom buns only. All right, so Amy, we're gonna read your comment. It says, Amy Clark Poole. Also, bullies need extra love too. It's something they looking for, sometimes stress, and they will take that out on other kids.
Yes, I just explained that with my own situation. That's how it started off for me. I wasn't a bully, but I was a person that just didn't take mess off of people. But it when I look at it now, that could have been dressed up in a form of being a bully because I was quick to throw those hands, right? But again, I was also hurt. And that needed to be addressed. And so when you see somebody showing up like that, that every time you turn around, they're fighting or they're the main ones doing all of this, that's probably the person that's really dealing with something. We need to counselors need to grab that child, pull them aside and say, what happened? What's going on? What do we need to talk about?
All right, look like all right, so let me I want to try to get, like I say, as many of these kids need something on their butt that was top. All right, so look, all right, this is interesting to me. We got Joyce Clopton saying these kids need something on their butt that will stop a lot of the bullying. I'm thinking, you know, they're referring to like spankings or just good old-fashioned beatings. You know, can you still beat kids these days?
Well, you probably could, but there's gonna be some consequences with that. So you want to be careful in doing that because that's illegal, and these children know that, and they really take advantage of knowing just how far they can be disciplined. But at the end of the day, that's the child that you raise. I'm not the government. I'm not about to step in and tell you how to raise your child, but I will be the person to say, please don't abuse them. But I do feel like children do need to be disciplined. And they need to know where the boundaries are, and it starts at home, and we have to be consistent in that. If today is the rule, this is the rule today, that should also be the rule tomorrow and the rule next week. We can't keep switching up according to how we feel in that moment.
So basically what you're saying is create a pattern of consistency. Consistency
is important. When it comes down to discipline children, consistency is probably your number one thing.
All right, we got somebody, you just said something a while ago about, you know, when the kids come in, look at them, you know, take time off to scan them up and down. Della Simmons' comment kind of piggybacks off that. She said spending time and communicating with your kids is important as well. Make time for your kids. And I was going to ask, do you think that parents these days are making enough time for their kids?
You know, I really say this, we still have the same 24 hours in the day that we've had back in the day, right? It's still the same 24 hours, but look at all the things we have to do now. We are traveling longer commutes to get to work. Some of us are working 2 and 3 jobs. There's so many factors as to where the time is going. So you have to be very intentional and very strategic on how you're using your time and using that time wisely to make sure that the children, they're not on the last of the schedule and the planning of what it is you need to, how you need to plan your day. Some people are working from home, so you may have a little bit more time and a little more flex time than that mother or father that's commuting a 45-hour drive to and from in traffic, right? Coming from work. So there's a lot of things that we have to factor in, but the bottom line is making time for your child is important. Finding out what your child likes, knowing and I'm gonna tell you what your child like is important, because sometimes that might be the very thing you need to take away in terms of that disciplinary action. So if they really love playing games or what have you, the video games, oh, that's the first thing that's getting ready to go. You want some new Jordans? Oh, okay, well first let me see how you showing up in school, because if I get another report that you doing something that you shouldn't be doing, that's the first thing getting ready to go. You're gonna be in another brand of shoes this year. It won't be Jordans. Do your child deserve Jordans? You know, we get caught up in how and that's another way that people are bullying, when you see a child don't have some of the same fashion and name brand things that another child has, and then they start pointing that out, and we need to make sure we have resources that if that is a situation, and it might be a child at school that we can clearly see may not have some of the most fashionable clothes, and they desire to have that, hit some of these organizations up so that we can make a donation to that family. That's how we should be using these nonprofits in our city, of helping them to help out some of these families, be able to give some resources to these babysitters. And they don't have to experience some of the things they've been experiencing. Every child wants something nice, wants something clean, want to be safe, want to know they have something good to eat. Every child wants that.
All right, y'all. So just real quick, so y'all know, we are on Natural Bridge and Kingshighway. You know what I mean? We're at the southbound Kingshighway bus stop. So anybody that want to, get into this conversation and, come out and let us know what's going on, step on Natural Bridge and Kingshighway. Right here at the U.S. Bank, y'all.
All right, so look, that was Street Talk once again, giving y'all the info that we are at Natural Bridge and Kingshighway. Plenty of people can pull up, come out. This is not, you know, this wasn't anything scheduled. This was a humbug. She was passing by. We was in the area. We say, yo, we about to talk about this. We about to talk about whatever issues y'all want to talk about. We have the ability to do that. This is Vop News. This is Voice of the People. You know, we created this platform so y'all voices can be heard. You feel me? So with these issues going on out here, we are not keyboard warriors. We are not those to stand behind the keyboard and stay behind it.
I'm sitting here sweating, doing nothing. I'm sweating, y'all, doing nothing. And the reason being is because this is important. We have to stick together. We have to come out. We are the village. We talk about it all the time. Let's be the village. Let's build the village back up where the village got to come outside, because that's where all this stuff is happening. So again, I want to thank you all for sharing your platform and allowing me to come and talk about this a little bit and answer some questions. But I do want to say this, anybody that wants to jump on board and volunteer to be a part of this anti-bullying campaign that we're building out with the family of Spirit Butler, please contact Dr. Marty J Casey at UnGunInstitute.com. Please go to UnGunInstitute.com. Send me an email. Let me know I want to volunteer. I want to be a part of this. If you have a way to get us into school so we can come and talk to the children, helping them to ungun. You know what's really lacking is self-esteem. If you don't have good self-esteem, then you probably don't have good self-respect, self-discipline, and self-love. And that's what UnGun is all about. We have to increase those areas, because the more I can get you to understand who you are, the value of who you are, and you loving yourself, you will never dislike or hate on somebody else, because it's already in you. It's not about the enemy, it's about the inner me. I love y'all. I love St. Louis. Peace out. I'm going to get this double cheese and this little chocolate shake, wipe my face, get in this car. I love y'all. We keep it real around here.
All right, look, we gonna let you go. Last thing. What is UnGun? Like, you know, you got the shirt on, you saying UnGun. I'm gonna be honest, I know a little bit about it. It's a process. UnGun is a process where we really, again, we help individuals to undo, unravel, release anything that is holding you back from being your best self. There's some childhood trauma that might be inside of you. There's some yesterday trauma that may be inside of you. There's some things that done happened on your job. There's some stuff might have happened at church. There may be some stuff happening in your neighborhood. Whatever it is that you still holding inside of you and it's causing you to not move forward to be your best self, it needs to be undone. All right, so look, I'm down on my side, Streets. You good? You ain't got nothing for me?
It's good to see you.
We're going to let her get out of here. She gave us 30 good minutes. We're going to let her get out of here.
All right, y'all. See you later.
All right. So, look, we appreciate you stopping by. We know you didn't have this plan. We didn't have this plan.
No, not at all. They look at my hair and tell I didn't plan this.
Hey, look, cut it off. Hey, so with that being said, man, we definitely want to thank Dr. Marty Casey for sliding through the trenches, Natural Bridge and Kingshighway. You know, shouts out to Nelly. If you're not from St. Louis, y'all know about it from him. We gonna go ahead and let her ungun some of those steam grilled burgers over there at the White Castle. All right, appreciate you.
Love you. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you. So that was Marty J Casey from UnGun Institute. Make sure y'all look her up, man. UnGunInstitute.com. Check her out, find out what she got going off in the community. Like I said, we right here on Natural Bridge and Kingshighway. We at the southbound bus stop. Might go on and cut this live right here. We'll sit here and wait on the community to pull up so we can sit down and have a conversation. Y'all, we trying to talk. We trying to find out what's going on. Got my mans from Vop, Cam out here. So, hey, y'all, we trying to spread the word. You know what I mean? We trying to do it. So, come on out and check us out. Street Talk STL.
Got my man Street Talk out here from the Street Show. You know, this is what he been doing. You know what? Street Talk. Let's go ahead and close with you. Could you tell us about the Street Show and how you got started doing it?
All right, man. The Street Show was really just something that came from me being out in the community, me seeing, you know, what the community go through, understanding the challenges that we face. And I just figured, you know, hey, put some of this on video, get it out to the people, let them know what's going on, man. And then, you know, let them know that it's a way that we can all come together and make things happen.
How important is it for, when I say that, I don't know if people understand the word community. What does community mean to you? What does that word mean?
Wow, that's a good one, man. On the spot, community.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
Community, hey, community is family, man. You know what I'm saying? When I think of community, I think of family. And a lot of people, they might go family being blood, you know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, it'll be a total stranger that would help you way more than your blood brother. So, I mean, community is anybody seeing the next person in need and saying,